We will become experts in AI sooner than anyone else and earn greatly from it. It's the AI here and now. Get rid of that outdated system. It is no longer useful. I created the industry's top market share system, but CEO Miller and Daniel didn't know it, so they requested that it be taken down. Indeed, AI technology has advanced to the point where it can now manage certain aspects of system building. But the intricate mechanism I laboriously created cannot be replicated by AI. You get it? I wish you luck in that endeavor. I told them over and over again not to do it, but they refused to listen and insisted on deleting the system. So I did as they asked and resigned. Miller and Daniel then made several unsuccessful attempts to use AI to rebuild or restore the system. Furthermore, the matter took a startling turn when the rationale behind their insistence on implementing AI was made public. I'm 43-year-old Tom Johnson. At Millerch, I am employed as a systems engineer. I'm still unmarried at this age because I love my profession and have been so focused on it. I feel sorry for it sometimes, but there is nothing I can do about it. I now put my all into my work every day because, at the very least, I want to succeed in the field as a systems engineer. At the very least, they may somewhat increase our pay. They should have plenty of money because that system generated a lot of income. Indeed, the president seems to be very particular about money. In the break room, I'm whining to a coworker. Millerch created a particular corporate management system 5 years ago. After a lot of work, it was created internally and used by numerous IT firms. Its market share has risen to an incredible industry high #1. The company's profit should be larger than ever because this market share has been growing year. The business environment must be good, but salaries aren't rising for some reason. Did our salaries increase during the boom of that system 5 years ago? That was the final instance. Yes, I believe that, particularly since the new CEO took over. It all comes down to daily cost savings. Richard Miller is Miltech's second-generation CEO at the moment. Miller, who formerly worked at another company, is the son of the former CEO. But once the former CEO departed a few years ago, he was summoned back to take over Millerch. We've been told to cut costs ever since the new CEO took over. Unless it's really hot or freezing, we can't even use the air conditioner. We are also instructed to promptly turn off the lights in any places that are not in use. As workers, we are unable to avoid feeling anxious in this setting. Miller was saying he worked for another company in the same industry before coming here, but I don't think he knows much about systems development. When it comes to development, he mostly leaves it to the employees. He just drops by occasionally and never gives advice or shows concern for us. Maybe he doesn't fully understand Millertech's business, but it's been a few years since he became CEO. Instead of gaining trust over the years since he took over as president, he has only caused us to become more dissatisfied with him, wanting him to think a little more about us employees and create a more comfortable work environment for us. Do you think I can work here until retirement? Retirement? I don't know, but finding another job in your 40s is tough. With these complaints, my coworker and I end our break in the cold room with restricted air conditioning, and we resume our work. This is amazing. Can code be generated this easily? That day, when I returned from my break, Miller unusually came to our department expressing admiration. Next to him was Daniel Smith, and they were both looking at something on the computer. Curious about what they were doing, I decided to ask, "Is something wrong, Miller?" "Daniel, we've introduced a code-generating AI. Do you want to see it?" When I looked at the computer screen, Miller indicated it displayed freshly generated code. "Did I make this?" "Yes, it's amazing, right? I recommended its introduction." When I asked, Daniel answered, "You just input instructions, and it generates the corresponding code." Daniel showed me the code generation AI in action. Indeed, I was surprised that the code was generated in the blink of an eye, according to the instructions I had entered. As someone who has worked as an engineer for many years, I could immediately see that the displayed code followed the instructions accurately. A little tweaking would make it fully integrable into the system. I had heard of code-generating AI before, but I was astonished at how easily it could now produce code. This is incredible. This could significantly streamline our tasks. Right. I know firsthand how challenging it is to input code, So if I can simplify that process a little, I would be grateful. It seemed that the company was finally adopting cutting-edge technology for the benefit of its employees. At that moment, I optimistically thought so, but I was quickly disillusioned. Absolutely. It will make work more efficient, and on top of that, we won't need system engineers and programmers anymore. We can leave everything to AI. Sorry. Daniel's words made me raise my voice in surprise. Indeed, AI technology is remarkable, and it's beneficial to incorporate it if possible. However, how does that lead to the notion that programmers and engineers will no longer be needed? Shockingly, Miller also agreed with Daniel's words. Absolutely. AI doesn't need a salary, no matter how much it works. We can leave everything to AI from now on. We can cut salaries significantly by reducing staff. Their unsettling words caught the attention of the department's employees, who all turned their gaze toward us. Unaware of this, Miller continued to input commands and had AI generate more code, appearing delighted. All right, I've decided after having the AI generate codes several times, Miller spoke, we're firing the programmers and engineers. What? I was surprised and shouted when I heard the outrageous arrangement. The employees who had been watching the situation were also astonished to the point of rolling their eyes when they heard the declaration. Using AI to generate code and cut costs seems like a good idea, but isn't it too simplistic to fire people right away because of that? From now on, let AI handle everything. It's faster and cheaper. It's the AI era. We will master AI faster than anyone else and make a fortune. I understand your point, but isn't it premature to fire programmers and engineers? Are you contradicting me? It's a waste of money to pay you all, so the sooner we decide, the better. Who should we fire first? No, we can't simply fire our employees because of the superiority of AI. I've often questioned Miller's management policies, but this is too much. If he had any experience in system development, he'd know you can't just replace employees with AI. Do you have a problem? Then you're the first to go. Write your resignation now. Why is it coming to this? I protested in panic. I've contributed to this company, and now you suddenly tell me to resign. Who will maintain and update the management system if I'm gone? I was tired of Miller, but that didn't stop me from submitting my resignation, which was unacceptable to me, so I bit the bullet. Oh, that system. Just a mere employee like you doesn't need to worry about that. We can just have AI write the code. It's impossible for AI to update this system. Are you underestimating AI technology? Too bad for you. AI writes code faster and more accurately than you, so updates should be easier from now on. In fact, AI will probably create a system even more advanced than this one. Daniel said, mocking me, seemingly unaware of the seriousness of the situation. It is indeed impressive, but I can't believe they think it can handle the maintenance of that system. I feel like a fool for spending all this time and money on this. Turn off the old system. It's no longer useful. If we leave the system to AI, it will undoubtedly become irrecoverable. I never thought they couldn't understand such a simple fact. It's frustrating to think I've been working under these two who have no understanding of system development. Are you really going to delete it? I can't restore this system. I asked one last time for confirmation. I knew how much effort it took to create this system and what would happen if it was deleted, so I persisted. Deleting it is easy, but if they actually do it, the company will definitely fall into chaos. But they just don't get it. Just delete it and resign. If we need it again, we can have AI recreate it. Did you really want to maintain this system that badly? It's too bad that the AI took your job. They don't realize that relying solely on AI and neglecting employees will come back to haunt them. They truly understand nothing. I can't work under a CEO and manager who disregard programmers and engineers as replaceable by AI. Understood. Good luck with that. After that, I deleted the entire system as they wished and resigned. The next day, I'm out of work, so I'm taking it easy. I didn't need to rush into a new job since I had received several offers before. As I was watching TV at home, my phone rang. Looking at the name displayed, I realized it was Miller calling me. Tom Miller, what can I do for you? I could guess why he was calling, but I asked anyway. Then Miller started yelling. I had no idea that system was the industry leader and you were the one who made it. Why didn't you tell me? Deleting it has ruined our business." The conversation took an unexpected turn, leaving me bewildered. Apparently, Miller didn't know that the system had the top market share in the industry or that I was the one who designed it. "I assumed you knew all that when you told me to delete it." "How could I have known that?" "What are you talking about?" "Well, it's true that I created that system when the former president was here, but Miller is the second-generation CEO of Militech. I developed that business management system before he took over as CEO, so it seems he didn't know that I was the one who designed it. Still, it's absurd for a CEO not to know the details of his company's top-selling product. Could he really have been unaware of what was supporting the company profits? While Miller usually takes a hands-off approach, I didn't realize it was to this extent. This situation felt increasingly suspicious, and I thought I should investigate further. As I pondered, Miller continued to rant. "Without that business management system, we can't get anything done. What are we supposed to do now?" I asked if you were sure it should be deleted. I also said it was impossible to restore it with AI, but you and Daniel didn't listen. I wasn't told this system was so complex. We've rewritten the code with AI several times, but the system won't run at all. You were impressed by AI technology, but it seems there's still room for improvement. I told him, and Miller growled in frustration. "It's their fault for mocking AI to their employees. Are you enjoying seeing us struggle? If you had somehow convinced us to stop back then, it's hard to take all the blame for that. You both wouldn't have listened no matter what I said." Miller ground his teeth in frustration. He was silent for a while, but then took a deep breath and spoke. "I understand your point. Just come to the office and we'll talk." "Why should I go to the office? You were eager to have employees resign, and you didn't stop me when I quit. Even if you apologize now, I have no intention of coming in." "What? You deleted it, so you should take responsibility and rebuild the system." "I absolutely refuse to rebuild that system. Do you realize how much effort it took to create it? System development is not something that can be done quickly and easily. Even though Miller worked at an egg company before, he doesn't seem to understand this. The business management system that was deleted took me and my coworkers 6 months to put together. We combined numerous codes in complex ways and repeatedly improved it until it became the industry leader. They believed in the power of AI and had everything deleted by AI, and now they are recreating it by hand, which is beyond brazen. I have no intention of going back to someone who is the president of a systems development company, but who also disrespects the abilities and value of the employees involved in the development process. Goodbye." Miller still seemed to have something to say, but I mercilessly hung up the phone. He called me several more times afterward, but I turned off my phone and ignored him. Later, I decided to work at a nutty company called Williams Holdings, which had scouted me. Williams Holdings used the business management system I developed. Among the companies that scouted me, they'd valued my skills as a systems engineer the most. My work at this company began without any issues. "Tom, I have a question. Do you do it like this?" "Sorry, Tom. I want to add a feature to this system." "I see. I think it's possible, but can you give me some time? I'm enjoying my time at Williams Holdings, using the skills I've developed to help other employees. Since I had designed the system the company was using, many employees respected and got along with me. Also, because I could directly adjust the system, the work environment kept improving, and I was often thanked." "Thank you, Tom. Thanks to you, our work is becoming more efficient. Many employees are happy about it." Mr. Williams of Williams Holdings thanked me. "No problem. If there's anything I can do, just let me know." Mr. Williams is a man who runs his company with proper respect for his employees. As a result, not only have I been able to work comfortably since my job change, but my salary and benefits have also increased. It seems leaving MCH was the right decision. I kept in touch with my former colleagues and enjoyed my work and life. Since Miller stopped contacting me, I was enjoying peaceful days until an incident occurred. Suddenly, Daniel came to Williams Holdings. I was shocked to see him at the reception desk. "Daniel, what are you doing here?" Daniel looked at me with a bitter expression. Tom, I have a lot to say to you, but not now. I'm here for maintenance. Maintenance? Indeed, Williams Holdings uses the business management system from Millerge, so employees from there regularly came for maintenance. However, the time for that hasn't come yet. Since I know this system better than anyone, there's no need to call someone for an inspection. What's going on? We didn't contact you for this. Just let me do the inspection. I'm here as a service. You wouldn't want any problems during work, right? That's true, but since I'm overseeing it, there shouldn't be any issues. Just let me through. With that, Daniel pushed his way into Williams Holdings. Given his nature, there is definitely something underhanded about him suddenly coming in for a free inspection. But without knowing what he's up to, I can't just send him away, considering he's from a partner company. Unsure of how to handle the situation, I reported it to Mr. Williams and accompanied Daniel as he entered the premises. Soon, he arrived at the terminal used for system management. Daniel, it was Mr. Williams who had come, probably because of my report. Seeing him, Daniel smiled warmly. Mr. Williams, it's been a while. I've come to inspect the business management system. I asked my employees, and none of them said they called you. What is this about? I detected an error on our end, so I came to check. There haven't been any errors, and Tom here is in charge of managing and maintaining this system. Mr. Williams frowned, clearly suspicious of some scheme. However, Daniel responded without flinching. Tom may not have noticed, but we received an error notification. It seemed like a minor error that wouldn't stop the system, but it could cause issues during the busiest times. Right. What you say is true, and I can't argue with anything you say. If there were errors I hadn't noticed, I wanted them fixed. But was that really his only motive? Daniel connected his laptop to the system and started the inspection. We had backups, so even if he tried something malicious, we could restore the system. The connected laptop displayed code that kept changing rapidly. At a glance, it seemed like he was performing maintenance, but something felt off as I watched him. I finally realized his scheme. Wait, are you trying to use AI to learn this company's system and rebuild it? So, maintenance wasn't your real objective. Daniel came into the company not for maintenance, but to steal and learn the system. But it was too late. By the time I realized his scheme, it seemed the learning process was already complete. Daniel disconnected his laptop from the system and began to laugh triumphantly. You were too slow, too late to notice. The AI has finished learning about this system. Now our company can restore the deleted system. In fact, we can even develop a more sophisticated system than the one you developed. All I have to do is input the commands, and the AI does everything. Too bad for you. You came under the guise of maintenance to infiltrate another company. Do you really think the system can be restored just by having AI learn and input commands? Are you jealous of AI's power? I understand your feelings, but it can't be helped because mere humans can never compete with AI. Even if it took you 6 months to build, the AI can complete it quickly. I'll show you, he said arrogantly, laughing. Soon this industry-leading system will be replaced. Too bad you spent so much time developing it. You guys can keep clinging to your old system and paying for maintenance. You don't seem to understand the value of programmers and engineers at all. Technology is impressive, but do you really think it can fully replace human work? Your thinking is outdated. Look at our CEO. Haven't you seen the speed and accuracy of AI code generation? He was intoxicated with the power of AI and continued to belittle engineers and programmers. Mr. Williams was about to say something, but I stopped him and spoke. Fine. If you really believe that, take that learned data and give it a try. If words won't convince them, they'll have to see for themselves. This will make them realize that AI is not as omnipotent as they think. Well, you're quite cooperative. Don't regret underestimating AI's power. We'll see. The outcome is pretty clear. Daniel left in high spirits. After he was out of sight, Mr. Williams spoke worriedly. Tom, it's fine. We know what the outcome will be. A few hours later, my phone rang. I put it on speaker so Mr. Williams could hear the conversation. Considering the time since Daniel left, he must have tried to generate the system using the learning data he took. Hey, Tom, the system isn't working. What's going on? As expected, that was Daniel's first line. I responded to him. Why don't you ask an AI that is more omnipotent than I am? With the learning data, it should give you a detailed answer. Just input the commands, and it should generate code much faster and more accurately than us engineers and programmers write. If AI could solve this, I wouldn't be calling you. You knew this would happen, didn't you? Why isn't the system working? Did you sabotage it? Stop holding out and tell me. I sighed deeply and answered. The business management system used in this company was indeed developed by me. However, it's adjusted to fit this company's workflow and hardware. Just because you took it back and had AI rebuild, it doesn't mean it will work seamlessly for your company. Human adjustments are necessary to tailor it to the environment. What I could hear was Daniel grinding his teeth on the other end of the line. Moreover, AI-generated code is still immature. If it generated so much code to be used for that business management system, there must be a lot of bugs left all over the place. Unless these are meticulously fixed by humans, the system will be unusable. You knew that and still gave us the data. I wasn't sure, but I suspected it would turn out this way, and it did. While AI can generate code easily, it takes human intervention to make it usable. Any experienced programmer or system engineer would know that AI-generated code can't be used as is. However, Daniel and Miller, who only see reducing labor costs and making easy money, can't seem to grasp this. If that's the case, there's no other choice. If human intervention is necessary, you need to come and restore this system, Tom. Why should I? You told me to quit, didn't you? I don't care about that. You're the one who developed this system, so you should take responsibility and restore it, whether it's fixing what AI generated or rebuilding it from scratch. Just do it, whether I help or not. If you're asking for my help, you should first apologize for recklessly stating that you would replace employees with AI. You knew from the beginning that AI isn't perfect and requires human assistance, didn't you? They overestimated AI's capabilities and forced employees to resign, claiming they were no longer needed. What angers me the most is how they undervalued the experience and knowledge of the employees who had been involved in system development for years. The advancements in AI are indeed remarkable. Eventually, the day may come when programmers' jobs will be replaced by AI. However, that doesn't justify belittling programmers and systems engineers. We need employees to verify and sometimes correct the code generated by AI. Yet you disregarded the employees who are most crucial and forced them to resign. I can't forgive that. At this, Daniel fell completely silent. I felt a sense of relief after saying everything I wanted to. However, I knew this wasn't the end. Hey, Tom, I heard Miller's voice on the phone. It seems that he took over the phone when he saw that Daniel had nothing to say back. What's with all the back talk? Are you jealous of AI? It's pathetic that you can't accept cutting-edge technology. Miller, did you hear what I said earlier? I'm not against AI. I'm saying we need employees to utilize AI effectively, and it's unacceptable to undervalue them. All talk, huh? Clinging to outdated methods. We will use AI to develop systems rapidly and soon surpass your sales, so be prepared. Miller seemed completely uninterested in reflecting on their actions. While his arguments seemed reasonable, his real motive was to reduce labor costs and increase profit margins. He had always demanded excessive frugality from the employees, but now he was even cutting those essential to the company. I sighed deeply, thinking it was the right moment. I decided to say one last thing. I wasn't going to bring this up, but since you've gone this far, I have no choice. I already investigated why you are so obsessed with implementing AI. One of our accounting employees confessed. What? What are you talking about? Miller sounded startled. It seemed he had an idea of what I was talking about. The business management system, developed 5 years ago, holds the top market share in the industry. Tech has made substantial profits from it. The market share has been growing, and the company's profits have been rising since then. However, our salaries haven't increased much in the last 5 years, and we've even been asked to cut costs. So where did the money from the system I designed and developed go? What are you talking about? And now you're trying to cut labor costs by implementing AI and forcing employees to resign? It's unnatural to be so fixated on profits. My investigation revealed that you two have been embezzling funds from Milch. Did you know that even a CEO or a manager can be prosecuted for embezzlement? Miller fell silent on the other end of the line. My accusation must have hit the mark, and he was probably breaking out in a cold sweat. I've already reported your embezzlement to the police. Other employees who were forced to resign and hold a grudge against you also helped with the report. This matter will soon be investigated as a criminal case. What have you done? Miller's voice was now filled with panic. He'd likely never expected this to become a criminal matter. We didn't know such a thing. This must be a mistake. If I am mistaken, I'd like to know why you've been so obsessed with the company's profits. Can you explain where the profits from the system I developed have gone? Well, they're struggling, but the evidence has already been submitted to the police. Since multiple employees reported the incident, the police will soon investigate Miller. When that happens, they will face consequences for undervaluing and exploiting their employees. Face the consequences for belittling those involved in system development and obsessing over making money. Now, if you'll excuse me. Damn it. Wait, Tom. We'll cancel the AI implementation, so cancel the report. A panicked voice came from the other end of the line. I couldn't hear well, but it seemed like the police had arrived. They will be interrogated and receive the punishment they deserve. Both Miller and Daniel will, of course, be prosecuted. The investigation into the money flow revealed that since Miller took office, they had embezzled $10 million. Miller will be charged with aggravated breach of trust and Daniel with embezzlement in the course of business. In addition to returning the embezzled funds, Daniel will face 5 years in prison, while Miller will face 7 years in prison and a fine of $10 million as a result. Militech collapsed. Since Miller and Daniel began their obsession with AI technology, many employees had already left the company due to concerns about its future, and by the time the police arrived, most had already resigned. They shouted, "I'll never trust AI again," as they were taken away. But who knows when they will understand that this incident wasn't just about AI. After that, I continued to work and excel at Williams Holdings. I'm happy that my programming and design skills I have honed so far are coming in handy in terms of coordinating business management systems and system development. Additionally, AI implementation has begun to be considered for streamlining and simplifying operations. But unlike those two, Mr. Williams will likely integrate it wisely. At least he won't undervalue employees just because AI is more efficient. This company does not underestimate the value of the employees involved in the development of the system. Therefore, I no longer have to work while questioning the CEO's decisions or management policies. With the CEO's understanding, my salary and benefits have also improved compared to before, and I plan to continue doing my best at this company.